Welcome to Business Prowess with Raphael and Juanita. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. We'll talk to experts and business leaders. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Raphael is the founder of 5 Unique Shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Juanita Cap is a public speaker who was in the ministry for 15 years. She has extensive knowledge of various topics such as leadership and communication, and has emceed many executive and academic events. Juanita is the founder of 2 Unique Shows. Her life motto is never give up.
Juanita, how are you today, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm doing so well, thank you. How are you?
Exceptional. And you know, I'm getting better every day.
Oh, I know that. I see that happening.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know, it's like Paul Masson said, that old commercial, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't serve his wine before it's time. So I'm preparing for my big opening. I'm kidding. Every day is a new day to show up, right?
That's the truth. That's the truth. And I think that's one thing that you and I, that's kind of what connected us so well, is that we love to show up. We love to be there and step up to the plate when we need to. And that is just the grace of God. That is the grace of God that we have that ability.
Yeah. So somebody, a Facebook user, said, I'll be talking to him soon.
Oh, who's that?
Now I want to know who this is. So if you are going to be talking to me soon, just type in your name. Who are you? Mystery person. Because, I am so gifted to be able to talk to so many people. And you do too. You're not home, are you?
I'm not home. I traveled from South Africa to St. Louis, where I was for a week. I was there on a public speaking engagement, and I'm currently in Delaware because I have another function on Saturday in Philadelphia. So I'm on the go.
You are on the go. And that's what's so fascinating, because when you are traveling, you get to meet so many people.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that beautiful?
That's my favorite part of traveling. It's an opportunity to make new friends, meet new people, and just learn. I love learning. I love to sit and listen and learn when they speak. And it's so interesting. And everything that they say goes into the downloads, and it's locked in my vault. And I believe that's a part of our personal growth as well.
Yeah. Personal growth daily, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about numbers, right? Knowing your numbers. A lot of people say ARM, right? Like, what is ARM? In business, it's terms of, some people think of it as mortgage, right? When you get a mortgage, it's your adjustable rate mortgage, right? Yeah. But there are actually 59 related meanings of the word ARM in business. Can you imagine 59 different ways that we can talk about ARM, right? Is it your arm or is it your arm, right? So we are definitely going to talk about a few of them. Yeah. Knowing your cash flow is also very important when we think about ARM. And here's the most important thing is how to keep it. We definitely want to talk about the risk management, right?
Yes,
the process of identifying and assessing and controlling your financial, your legal, and your strategic and your security risks.
Yes.
That's so critical, right?
We have to be prepared.
Always.
We always have to be prepared. It's lovely when your business is going well and you're thriving. And good morning, Betsy Owens. We love you. And everything is going well. But in business, especially when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared. You have to know the risks. And what does the word entrepreneur mean? It means risk taker. So I'd say entrepreneurs have to really get to that mindset where they want to become professional risk takers. And that's why we have Business Prowess, because we want to engage with the other entrepreneurs out there and put that message out there. What are we talking about? Cash flow. Look after your cash flow. We love you too. Thank you so much, Yvette. Look after your cash flow. And also, how does associated risk management work? Because that's one definition of ARM, of ARM.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, you'll say, "Hey, how much did you make?" And they'll say, "I made $350,000." No. How much did you make?
Did you actually make?
Did you actually make? Because let's say you did make $350,000, right? How much of that went to payroll? How much of that went to just
Other
marketing?
expenses. Yeah.
There's so many expenses, and a lot of business people get into business because they see someone else making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't have their process. They don't understand how they're making money,
Yes.
but they're keeping it.
Yes.
What?
That's the secret. Keep it.
Right?
When you have it, keep it and use it effectively. And
Mhm.
that takes a lot of introspection, Sifu. You have to, as a business owner, be real with yourself. One of
Yeah.
my hashtags at Meticulous is keeping it real. And I hear Yvette says, be willing to stop. Just put that up again. It went off. Be willing to step out of the boat. I love that. Absolutely. Thank you, Sifu. Be willing to step out of the boat and look from the outside in, and also do introspection and say, what kind of a business owner do I want to be? What kind of an entrepreneur? Because you mentioned something very, very important. We have payroll. We have other expenses. That means we have a responsibility towards our employees. So this does not only involve us, it involves our employees as well. And that's why
Mhm.
we have to build up these skills.
Yeah. A lot of businesses, especially like even Home Depot. Let's consider about a big place like Home Depot.
Yeah.
Part of their expenses is theft.
Oh, yeah.
They account
Mm.
probably a certain percentage, maybe even 10% of their revenue to be stolen, because you can't control. You can have cameras, you can have security guards. Somebody's going to swipe something.
Mm.
And when you think about what's happening now with people crashing into a store and I just saw something on the news the other day. Somebody crashed into a store. They took $100,000 worth
Oh,
of stuff, but then the damage to the store, think about that. It may be
that's insurance.
$120,000 when it comes down to the final numbers. So knowing your numbers, knowing where every penny goes. A lot of people will spend the money faster than it
And then,
comes in.
yeah, yeah.
And then they
And that's
wonder.
the psychological aspect of being a business owner.
Mhm.
And I also want to add, when they broke into that store, what is one of our expenses as well? Insurance. Do you have insurance, or do you think, oh, I don't need it? It's for other people. It's for another type of business. No, no, no. Part of being prepared is having that insurance.
Mhm.
And don't be a spender. Make sure you keep yourself in check.
You know what happens is, let's say I get a new client and I normally charge $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I gave them a deal, and I only charge them 10,000 because they paid for the whole year, right? So did I make $2,000? No, I lost $2,000. But here's the thing: I immediately gained
The
10,000.
Yeah.
The thing is, how do you turn that 10,000 to 12 or 20?
Mm.
So what happens is people take that $10,000 and they'll go and spend it and do this and do that, instead of taking the $10,000
Investing.
and putting it in a different account,
Yeah.
an account
Have
you
to
don't
invest.
touch,
Yeah.
an account that maybe it's an investment type of account, but
Yes.
every month you take out the $1,000.
Percentage. Yes, because
You
it's
take out,
growing.
you pay, right? You're
Yeah.
still getting paid that $10,000.
Yeah.
But if you just take the 10,000 and spend it, it would have been better had they paid you monthly.
That's the truth, because
Make it
then you
12.
would have made 12.
But
Yeah.
why is it that some people, including me, allow people to save money if they pay upfront? Because it's what we do and how we handle the money
It's business
coming
strategy. Yeah.
in
Yeah. And
strength.
that's a part of building a business strategy and building a sustainable business model. What do you
Mhm.
do? You'll take the 10 and give 12 months worth of value of services, but you take that 10 and you make it more. And at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it's going to be much more than 12 if you invest it correctly and you don't touch it immediately. And that's also a part of business, being a little bit more patient with finances growing and, putting together your budget. How important is your budget, and how many people out there really have a budget? I am astounded when I meet coaches and other business owners. Sometimes they don't even operate on a budget, and that's a scary thought.
Mm. We're going to come back in a second and talk about risk management. Boom. So
Oh,
I just talked about Home Depot and how they know
yeah,
that people are going to steal from them. They can't stop it. They can try,
yeah,
but what are they going to do? You can't frisk everybody coming into your or leaving your store, right? You
yeah.
can't do that. It's it would cost you more money. It would cost more money if you had
Yes,
to, you
more
know,
manpower. Yeah,
yeah. So it's cheaper for them
more
to
than
say, you know
10%.
what?
Yeah,
Certain amount of money is going to walk out the door. But
it's going to be a loss. Yeah.
what can we do? What processes can we put in place so
Mm.
that less money walks out the door? Because we know money's going to walk out the door. So when you're a smart business person, you have to think about the risk management. How do you assess what risks you have as a
Mm.
business owner? Is it a brick and mortar? Is it a virtual? Is it a coaching process? Do
Mm.
you do one-on-ones? Do you do one-on-many? So where is the risk? And then you also have to think, as coaches out there, a lot of coaches will sell their service,
Mm.
but then do they collect? So do they have a process
So
of
they close that circle.
collecting,
Yeah,
right?
that's a big, big obstacle. It's a big obstacle. And talking about the concepts of risk management, you mentioned, look at that building that knows they are going to lose 10%, on theft. What are they
Mm,
doing? They are managing that risk. They know about it. They've identified it. They've assessed it. They are treating the risk. How are they doing that? They put that into their budget. They know that's going to be 10% that they're going to lose,
mm,
and that gives them the opportunity to think of other measures to make that 10% back. And then they monitor and they report. And you mentioned that, appointing more staff to frisk everybody out, before they leave the store. What's that going to do? It's going to make another expense. So they have to totally manage something that just came their way. And I believe, that's important in business as well. What are you identifying as a risk? And that's not a annual thing. That is
mm,
something you have to do on a monthly basis, because as you go along in your year, your business is evolving, which means as you grow, there will be more risks that you have to incalculate. So identify them, assess them, treat them, and then monitor them and report on them, so that next year, and we're going to get to the important annual meetings that we have, that you can look back and say, this is what happened. These were the curve balls that were thrown at us, and this is how we handled it, and how can we now do better. And I see Yvette says you're also investing that 2000 into a potential long-term relationship with that individual. Another important point, by doing the 10,000 versus 12. Absolutely
right.
wonderful comment. Thank you, Yvette.
One of the things that we have to think about is that we want to minimize the likelihood of things going
Yes.
wrong. You know, a concept known as loss control.
Mm.
Sometimes you talked about it earlier, risk, right? So you have to have insurance to reduce to your financial impact, right? When you think about if you know every month
Mm.
I'm going to lose this amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay. You add that to your numbers. That's where your arm comes in,
It's an expense.
knowing your numbers, right? So you add that. You go, okay, maybe we're going to lose $2,500 every month without fail. So
Yeah.
how can we minimize it? How can we make it 2,000 instead of 2,500? What are some of the simple steps? So, for example, a long time ago, I was at a store, and they had problems. It was a store where they sold clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And their problem was that somebody would come open the door, someone else would come, wrap their arms around the clothes, lift it, and run out.
Oh,
And the other choice is to put chains through
yes. So they won't be able to run away with it.
right. But then now what happens if somebody wanted to try it on?
Mm.
What do? You have to have somebody there to open the chain. So I said to them, why don't you interlock the hangers? They're like, what do you mean interlock the hangers? I said, well,
Good
this is
idea.
the rod. You put one facing one way, you put the other hook facing the other way, and now when they try to lift it, it locks itself. So they're like, huh. And nobody was able to take from them. They can take one item,
Yeah, but they
but
can't
they couldn't
run
even take two.
with a whole bunch. Yeah,
They couldn't even take two because one pulls up, the other one pulls.
it's stuck.
So they're opposite. So
It's a
it
great
worked for them. But it's when you think outside the box, how can we minimize the problems we're going to have?
Yeah,
And I think that's where your risk management comes in. You know, one of the things that we always have to consider is the impact on our bottom line. We're in business to what?
make a profit, get
We
a return
hope.
on investment, scale.
Although, you know, a lot of people, they're tired, and we're going to say it the way it's been said, I'm tired of working for the man. Well, sometimes you're working for a woman, a very powerful woman, right? So but you may be tired of working for someone, whether it's a woman, a man, a group. But here's the thing. Then you go and you start your own. And then you go back to working for someone. Why? Because you did not investigate or realize all of the things that go into running a business. Health insurance, rental insurance,
Research.
fire insurance, security insurance, cameras, surveillance, alarms, telephone.
From the building.
internet.
Yeah.
I could go on and
Yeah.
on and on. And when you think about every
Expensive.
little thing, everything adds up.
It does. It does.
It does.
Absolutely. You know, I've seen so many businesses flourish, Sifu, because the individuals that really entered into that space, into the marketplace, they sat down and they did their research. And I'm not talking about a month's worth of research. I'm talking about really looking over a year or two, being in the 8 to or 9 to 5 job, as you would call it in the US, but doing that research, really getting knowledgeable about the products that they sell or the service that they sell, the market that they are in, really looking at how's the market changed over the last 2 years, and then with effective marketing and a plan, a business plan. I mean, I hear about businesses that don't have business plans and I get chills. But then they only start their business. And then we have the extreme on the other side. People just rush in, you know, they feel they've been in a certain field for a long time. The problem is they've been an employee. And they might not have been at top management yet. They might have not had ORM training, associated risk management, or any of the other 58 or 59, definitions thereof. And they jump into something that often take their life savings, and they just jump. And when you can't do that, because there's a certain level of professionalism that you have to have and knowledge that you have to have before you start a venture. So I would highly recommend that if you are out there and you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, make sure it doesn't have to be for 2 years, but make sure you do your research, that you know what you're getting yourself into, because it is a special role to fulfill, and make it something that is a pleasure for you. It shouldn't be a stressful situation when you do end up doing it at the end of the day.
It should definitely not be stressful at all. If you want to know more on business concepts, ideas, people should come to New York. Can I share that with everybody?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th. Go to heroesrisingapex.com for tickets.
Well, Anita, I know you're coming to New York, and as a world traveler, how excited are you about coming to New York?
I am super excited. I have joined Sifu. For those in the audience who haven't seen the post yet, I've joined Sifu Raphael in New York at his wonderful dojo, where we conducted a few training sessions. That was a wonderful experience. And then we started to talk about Heroes Rising Apex and business, the business side of what we do. We're both martial artists and we're both entrepreneurs. And I'm super excited to be with you in July in New York, and just to rub shoulders with the great, and also Jose Escobar is there. I'm also a proud member of the Connected Leaders Academy. I'm on their executive team, and I'm going to be so happy just to be there with Sifu and Jose, of course, wonderful two leaders that I've had the privilege to meet. So I want to extend that invitation to the audience. Make sure you are in the room. It's going to be an exceptional event.
Oh yeah, it's going to be truly exceptional. You know, one of the things that when you came to my facility, I'm not here to brag, but I'm just here to say, if you notice, I invest in my place, right? My place does not look run down, does it?
It's got a lovely atmosphere. I believed I coined the term culture. There's a culture that you developed within your facility. When you walk in, you feel at home. I mean, I felt like I was walking into the dojo there in South Africa, which is my second home, and I felt comfortable, and everything was set up so well for the students as well as their families, and everything just works in a wonderful flow. Because it's been the way that you structured it and the way that you put it together. You can see you thought about where to put where, what to put where and what to do in certain areas. So I have to say kudos to you for doing that, because that's not often the case. And that's just coming back to the point of research. You mapped it out. You thought it through, and then you executed your tasks. And that's why, I mean, Sifu, I'm sure your students absolutely love the dojo. And as my dojo is my second home in SA, in South Africa, I'm sure it's their second home too.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I want when somebody walks in, it's not like a typical martial arts school, right? You walk in, you got comfortable seating. You have a beautiful reception area. You have plants. You have coffee for people when they come in, right? Because I want people to feel comfortable. We have a way that people can look in. They can see a kickboxing class. My lobby is probably the size of most martial arts schools.
Yes.
All right.
Huge.
It's a large lobby.
We did a recording there. It was like a studio.
Yeah, and then, and I have an office set up, and I have a smoothie bar. I have places where people can come and be comfortable. So after class, you can sit down and have TVs around. Yeah. It's an experience. And that is part of my arm. How do I keep the money?
That's it.
Because if my customers are not happy, and they maybe somebody says, hey, come to my place. They treat us like family there. And then they go there and they go, well, Raphael's place is crappy. They don't treat you like family. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to go there. So this is an investment, not
Yes.
only in my members, but in my future as
Mhm.
that business. Because I have a wood shop, I have different businesses, but everything has to make sense. So
That's
why do I treat my customers like family?
Mm.
Why does somebody walk in and everybody knows their name?
Yeah.
Why does somebody come in and feel like I belong? You felt it immediately,
I did.
right?
I did. And that's part of retention, customer retention and employee retention.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want our customers or our clients or our students to keep coming back. That's part of associated risk management. What is your retention like? Are you even looking at that? How long are your employees staying in your business? Do we want them to change every few months? No, because we train them to a certain level. We invest that money in them and we develop them personally and professionally. We want them to stay. We don't want to retrain them every few months. So that's part of retention. And I have to say, with your dojo, and I'm sure with all your other businesses, Sifu, you hit that nail right on the head. Because I'm sure you have a high retention. Your clients come back, your customers, your students, and your employees are happy.
Mhm.
They feel fulfilled and they feel like they're being validated. And that's very, very important.
Oh yeah. You talked about your employees. I totally agree. I actually had an employee come back
Oh,
who, young girl,
Yeah.
she was going to go away for college and she was studying so much that she said, hey, Sifu, I'm going to have to step down, because she was an assistant instructor for me. I said, no problem. I understand school's extremely important. I said, we love you.
yes.
The door is always open,
Mm,
always open. She kept being a student because she was a student first.
yeah.
And she would come and she would see it. And then one day she goes, is that offer still available? I said, of course.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm going to make it better than what you had before.
Yeah.
She's like, how can you make it better? I'm going to pay you twice what you were earning before.
Wow, that's
She's like,
fantastic.
what? Twice? I said,
Yeah.
yes. I said,
Retention.
because now that you've come back, you can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And she wouldn't want to.
so it's funny because she said she was talking to, this is like 3 months after, she was talking to some of her friends. They're like, I can't believe how much you make.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm
She's
not going
paying you
anywhere.
what they're worth. Yeah.
She said, I'm not going anywhere. So I am paying her more than she's worth. I know
Wow.
that. But I'm investing in her.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm constantly training her. I'm constantly helping her. I'm constantly helping her and giving her the reins to make mistakes. So she'll say to me, how did I do? I'm like, you did great, but can we do this over here?
Do we
She
get
goes,
a
yes, I'm on it. But it's that investment in her.
And it's a long-term investment because she's going to be with you for years and years, forever, just because of the approach that you have.
Right. But I'm also, I pay her to come to training.
Yes.
I don't minimize the amount of money I give her. I give her the same amount of money when she comes to training. She trains, I would say 3 hours a week, which I pay for.
Okay.
The other thing is I have a whole cabinet full of food, and it's for her to have anytime. She goes, can I have, I said, everything here is yours. What, you're hungry? You want a snack? Have this, have that, whatever it is. Coffee? Yeah. Tea? Whatever. Anything you want. Or water? One day she comes in, because I do have a drink machine. And she goes, oh, can you make change? I have a $5 bill, and I know it takes quarters. I said, for what? She goes, I wasn't there. And I was on the phone, and somebody said, oh, I need to give Gianna change. I said, for what? She's getting a drink. I said, no, she's not paying for it. I said, you tell her to go pick out anything she wants. They're like, really? I said, of course. Just the way you do it, she does too. So
Wow,
and then when I saw her in person, I said, Gianna, you don't pay for drinks here.
that's fantastic.
I said, because now she understands that I value her.
Yes.
You
And
know?
now she'll go the extra mile every single time. And that's
Right.
what most of these corporate companies just don't understand.
Correct.
We are working with people. And when people feel validated and important and happy and like they are doing something right and that they belong, and we do that for them, then they
Mhm.
go the extra mile. We don't even have to ask. They'll go above and beyond because they feel welcome. They
Oh,
feel
yeah.
valued. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important.
I mean, like even yesterday I saw her and I brought her a drink that I know she likes.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is for me?" I'm like, "Yeah. I was at a place and I saw it and I thought of you." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." But
Yeah.
I didn't do it to butter her up, if you will.
No, of
I
course not.
did it because, and I do that for a lot of my employees. I do that because maybe in the wood shop, I have somebody they're building something
Yeah.
and, maybe that they're putting extra hour and I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to get some lunch. What would you like? They're like,
Mm.
oh, get me this, that, the other. Here, let me give you money. I'm like, no, you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
Like you're buying me lunch? I said, of course I'm buying you lunch. The same thing is if I invite somebody to dinner, I don't expect them to pay
Mm. Mm.
because I'm the one who made the invitation.
Yes.
Now, if they invite me, I'm willing to pay for me.
Of course.
I'm
Of
always
course.
willing to pay for me. It's up to them to not have me pay, but it's not for me to
Yes.
say, "Hey, you invited me, you
Go
should treat."
prepared. Yes.
Whether it's
Go
lunch,
prepared.
dinner, anything.
Same here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's part of developing your culture within your businesses. Doing that, bringing that drink back, it makes an impression on her because she's younger and she's,
Mm,
still learning. You're building her up, you're developing her. It starts that culture in your business space here in this situation, your dojo. But
mm.
that culture kind of becomes a part of her culture, and she's going to start applying that in areas in her life.
Oh,
And
without
how
doubt.
that spirals out, we also work with community, and it's
Mhm.
important that we become these light workers out there, and this is a small part of doing that, because we mentioned that yes, we are in business to make profit, to get a return on investment, to scale, of course, but we as human beings, and we work with human beings, we also want to make a lasting impact out there, and we do that through developing culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I definitely want to do is I want to talk about Captor for a second. Would you mind?
Oh, yes.
All
I
right, let's
absolutely
do it.
love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have the Captor Connection conference coming up. It's our second conference,
Let's
and it's
show it.
really
Let's show it. Here we
okay.
go.
We're going to play the video. Woo!
Yes, let's do it. Love
I
it.
love that. I love that music. I just want to dance when I hear that music. I chose that music for a reason. It is an energetic, a vibrant, a
Mhm.
fun-filled conference with a lot of good vibes. And I always tell people it's not just another conference where you sit through all those sessions and you have to make notes. It is a discussion. It's not a
Yeah.
monologue. And it's like being in a mastermind, talking
Mm.
and exchanging ideas, and the high level individuals that we have on our panel. Oh my goodness. Sign up today. Make sure you get your tickets at
Definitely.
www.meticulousmoments.com. $97, 3 days, 6 explosive topics,
What?
18 international speakers. How better does that get,
How,
really?
oh my gosh, that's $97
Yeah.
for that for 3 days. International. Wow.
Yeah.
I think, Juanita, I gotta tell you, I think we somehow have to look at that video again, and we're gonna have to get up and we're gonna have to dance. Ready? Let me put that on. Hang on one second. I think I'm ready. I'm gonna get up and we're gonna dance. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
What? That was so much fun. So Alejandro is also your co-founder.
Yes, and we connected last year through the CLA, Connected Leaders Academy, Jose Escobar, and we got together. And Alejandro stopped in our conversation. He said, Jay, he calls me Jay. He said, Jay, we need to do something together. And I said, let me get back to you on that. And I went and I formulated this business plan. And I came back and I said, I'm from South Africa and you are from Georgia. I said, and that's a connection. And I'm Kap, my surname is Kap and he's Tornato. And I said, what about the Kaptor connection? And my slogan was capturing your heart. And Alejandro started laughing and I said, what? And I started laughing and he said, you know what? Captor sounds like a raptor, from Jurassic Park. And we laughed. And he said, and what's funnier is the slogan you chose, capturing your heart. He said, you know what we should do? Our logo should involve a dinosaur. So for those of you who are not understanding why there's a dinosaur in the middle of the video, we are the Captor Connection and we capture your hearts. And this year, conference number 2, it's our first conference of many. The slogan is Elevate You, because we are here to elevate you and to grow with you. And I can't wait for the experience. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is. It's going to be phenomenal. When we think about the concept, the business idea, you went home and you wrote a business plan.
Exactly.
That's part of your arm.
Yes.
That's part of knowing your business, understanding the numbers. And today, we're talking about numbers. For example, when you have a conference and we're having a conference, the numbers play big because when we're going to have it in person, so I have to go to the hotel and I got to tell them how many people am I expecting. And then they're going to come back and they're going to go, well, if you bring this many people, we're going to give you this deal. If you bring less people, the deal is less. So knowing your numbers is so, so important. So we are getting people signed up for our event in New York, but we definitely need what? More. So numbers are going to play a big game in the success of that. Numbers are going to play a big game and a big part in the success of your Captor event. So the more people that come to it, lives are going to change for both events. For your event, you're going to change people's lives because you have different speakers. You have so many different topics, 3 days of events, all virtual. You could do it in your pajamas. You don't have to put on a tie, a dress. You could do it. If you have rollers, you can do it in your rollers, right? But you remember last time what I told you about how people can benefit even more?
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
do it at work. And they do it as a team.
Yes.
A team. So let's say everybody chips in $20. They're going to go to your event.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. What happens after the event? Are people going to get the recordings or they're going to have to buy the record? They should buy the recordings, right? Because
we
it's
sell
a
the
privilege.
recordings. Yeah, we sell the recordings, but we give the recordings to the speakers because they are a part of our team.
That's
so
beautiful.
Yeah, so the speakers get the recordings, and we sell the recordings to the public. It's part of your personal, your professional upliftment. It's going to speak into your life. And I mean, it's 3 days. It's 24 hours worth of content that you listen to at your leisure at any convenient time, so
That's beautiful.
it's something that you can put there on your laptop, and when you work or when you're maybe writing your book or doing your studies, you can listen to it in the background and get that information in, because change is the only constant. We can talk about those subjects this year. A lot of things are going to change in the market. A lot of the new developments, AI is coming in. I'm heavily invested into artificial intelligence. Next year we can talk, and we won't probably, but we can talk about the same topics. There's going to be a lot of more information on them. So we never get to that place where we say, oh, and some of our topics are time management, scaling your business, personal and professional discipline, personal empowerment. It's always something new to learn, always.
Every day. That's the only way I keep getting exceptional, right? Exceptional. How do I feel? I feel exceptional. I'm getting better every day. Every day. Every time I talk to you, you teach me something. So I want to thank you for being such a great teacher, great mentor.
Thank you, Sif. I appreciate it.
When we think about the numbers in our business, we need to know attrition rate. A lot of people, they don't understand that you have to learn how to close the back door.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Even the other day, I went shopping for sneakers. I bought 2 pairs. And in case you don't know, I love black. So I bought 2 black pairs of sneakers. They look almost identical, but they're different.
They're not.
Even though I have 30 pairs and they're all black. So I think I have 1 pair that's gray. So a very long time ago, I think they're still in a box. I bought a pair of white sneakers and one day I put them on and Melanie says to me, "Whose are those?" I'm like, "Hey, they're mine." She goes, "You sure?" I said, "Look, they're brand new. I haven't even worn them outside."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why do you have white sneakers?" I said, they look nice. I said, "Maybe I'll go to a white party one day. Maybe Juanita, you and I will have to have a white party so I can get rid of my dark clothes and throw on some white clothes, because I think it would be so much fun with the lights, right?"
Yes.
So let's think about attrition, right? How do we, by knowing our numbers, know when it's time to finally, you could padlock the front door to stop people from coming in, or even people leaving the front door, but it's the back door that you can padlock. People find a way. Why? Because you give them a way. You give them an excuse to leave. So a happy customer will not leave unless someone else makes them happy. So don't make your customers happy. No, that's a mistake. Make them ecstatic to be your customer. Make them super, super happy. Make them tell everybody. And they call it raving fans, right? Raving. I mean, they will tell everybody about you.
It's all about being flexible. It's all about knowing how to work with people. And remember, it's about attending to their needs. And if they feel that you don't scoff at what they require and that you really take them seriously and that you value them as your customer, you're flexible, you're accommodating, you're inviting, guess what? They're going to keep coming back. And they are going to tell others. And let me, there's a lot of marketing out there. I'm in the marketing space. There's a lot of way to market, but the best way to market is to build that relationship and to market one-on-one. And they go out, and what brings the other customers, the next one and the next one and the next one? Word of mouth. I went to this phenomenal dojo, and this is what happened. Pretty soon they're going to get interested. They're going to be curious. They're going to come back. I was on this podcast, Meticulous, and this is what happened. Pretty soon they're going to talk about it, contact you and say, I hear you have a podcast. I want to be on it. I hear Business Prowess is bringing wonderful topics to the fore. Can I be a guest on Business Prowess? And that's what we want. We want to extend an invitation to the audience. We want you on the show because we want to learn from you. And
But
we
we
want to
want to talk business.
yes, we want to talk business. Not sneakers business.
But sneaker business is a big business, by the way.
I'm just kidding.
If
And
you own a, a
it's like
sneaker company, we want to talk to you.
yeah, Nike or Adidas, are you out there? Come, let's talk business.
We'll talk to the CEOs of any company.
Yeah,
Listen, we are looking for CEOs. We're looking for coaches, business coaches. We're looking for people who teach people, or even entrepreneurs who are in it for real.
yes.
Don't get me wrong. When you're first getting started, you don't want to be on a show like this.
No.
I'm going to tell you why.
It's just because you still need to, found your footing and put your foundation on. And you know what? Work hard at it and you'll get there. I would suggest if you're just starting out, you're an entrepreneur and new in this space, follow us every week. Sit and listen to the conversations. We've had amazing guests on here. Aaron Shelley, for instance, and Andrew, and the whole panel that we had with our launch party. They've been in the business space for so many years. It's part of your growth and you will find it really edifying.
Right.
And then at some point you can.
Yeah, next week we have Jonathan Ellis coming back.
Yes, I know Jonathan so well.
But here's the thing, and the reason I said you shouldn't be on this show if you're just starting out, it's because you should be working on your business.
Yes. Listen to us
you
while you
listen
work.
to us. But the reason I say that, and I don't want to put anybody down, because I started somewhere. You know,
Yes.
I took $20,000, only 20, and I built a huge business. $20,000.
Sacrifice.
But it was constant.
Yes.
I know we have to go, but this is what I did. I put big signs up on my windows. I used to go to the train station. What time? 5 a.m. Why? Because that's rush hour. People were rushing to go to work. And these were the people who were the big shots, because everybody else was going to work at 9 o'clock. Those are the workers.
Yes.
So who do I want? I want the big
ones
shots.
that lead.
So I used to give them flyers, and most would not take it. And so I said, how do I get them to take my flyer? I would say I would go now in a suit instead of a regular clothing, because I was promoting one of my martial arts schools. So I said, this will save you on your taxes. And
good angle.
And my promotion was I was dressed in half a suit.
Yeah.
And the other half was my Kung Fu uniform. So I took 2 pictures and I combined it, half a suit and the other one.
Wow.
So it was business through martial arts. And people, when they took it, they kind of laughed, but I got clients that way. And I got clients before I opened my doors, because I did a pre-sale. So knowing your numbers, how many people do you need? And before, I know we have to run. Before I even did that, and you talked about it earlier, you did a business plan. The only way I was able to secure my lease is because I told and showed the landlord my business plan. They go like, wow, this is impressive. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You have it all laid out. Yes, we want you as a tenant. So that was important.
I love that. And I also apply martial arts principles in my business. And that's what I teach as well. And it's just phenomenal the way that you put your flyer together to bring that concept to the fore, to really give them that inspiration. That's eye-catching. And, if you're an entrepreneur and a business owner, you have to be innovative. You have to really think outside the box. For me, Alejandro always says with Juanita Cap, there's no box. She kicks the box aside. And I'm glad that he says that, because that's how I want to build my business and how I want to be. So it was exceptional having this show with you today. Again, this discussion, Sifu. I'm so blessed to have you. As a part of Business Prowess, you and I are co-founders and you're part of MAM as well. And it's just an honor to have you as a friend.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's always an honor to share this virtual stage with you. And I'm looking forward to share an actual stage with you, a physical one. It's going to be so much fun. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have an
guys.
amazing day. Juanita,
Yes.
stay exceptional.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next week with Jonathan Ellis. Be here.
Woohoo.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.